Alright, today we're going to go over how to install and download Wii U games for free onto a USB hard drive. So, to begin, you're going to need to get yourself an SD card. There's no way around it, you got to have an SD card. And I would say the max size SD card you're going to need for this is 32 gigs, but you can get away with using a smaller one. I'm using a 4 gigabyte SD card, but that means that I'm only going to be able to download and install Wii U games that are 4 gigs or less. If you want to download and install larger Wii U games, then you're going to need a larger SD card. Besides the SD card, you're going to need a USB hard drive. I would say the max size USB hard drive you would need is 500 gigs, but you could get away with using one a lot less than that. You could probably use one that's 120 gigs or 250 gigs if you got an old one laying around or something. You know, if you got a 1 gig USB drive sitting around, then use that by all means, but you don't need that much space. I also did notice that some of the newer USB drives require a USB-Y cable to get extra power from the Wii U to the drive. So if you have a newer USB hard drive and it's not being detected on your Wii U, then that's probably going to be the problem, is that it's not getting enough power. So you're going to need to get a USB-Y cable. Let's see, other than that, other than the SD card and the USB drive, you're going to need to download a couple things. So to begin, let's insert our SD card into the computer. Okay. And if you haven't done so already, you're going to want to format that SD card. So to do that, you're going to right click on your SD card, click format. You're going to make sure FAT32 is selected. You're going to want to put this at 32 kilobytes. From previous run-ins with doing this, I found that 32 kilobytes causes less problems when you're transferring games from the SD card to the USB drive. Also, for the volume label, you do not name it Wii U or Wii Space U, because I also heard that that can cause problems. So I named mine just PU, and everything seems to be working fine. Format options, just do a quick format, that'll be just fine, and click start. Alright, format is complete and we are ready to go. So open up your SD card here. Now you're going to want to download Homebrew Launcher version 1.4. I will leave a description, a link to that in the description below. You're also going to want to download WUP Installer 1.3. I will also leave a link to that in the description below. So once you have those two things downloaded, you're going to open up Homebrew Launcher, and you will see a folder called Wii U. Just take that folder, drag it right over to your SD card onto the main directory. Close that out. Next, we're going to open up WUP Installer 1.3, and we're going to do the same thing. Just take that Wii U folder and drag it right to the main directory of your SD card. Close that out. So now over on your SD card, you should have a folder called Wii U. Open should have a folder inside there called apps, and if you open up that apps folder, you should have two folders, one called the Homebrew Launcher and the other WUP Installer. So next, you're going to want to download UTIC Download Helper. This is what we're going to use to download games. So after you have that downloaded, you're going to open it up, and once it's open, you're going to want to select whatever region you are from. I'm from the USA, so I'm going to select USA. But if you're from any other region, then make sure you select that region. I'm not quite sure what would happen if you tried to install games from a different region. Maybe your Wii U will blow up. Maybe you'll brick it. I don't know. You probably won't brick it if you're installing onto a USB hard drive, but absolutely, and we'll go over this later on, don't install any of these games into the system memory. But anyways, yeah, so select the region you're at, and now we're going to find a game. I only have a 4 GB card, so I'm going to download a game that's going to fit on there. Let me do Mario Party 10. Oh, before I do that, let me go down here. The biggest game in this list for the USA region anyways is Xenoblade Chronicles, and that weighs in at just about 20 gigabytes. So like I was saying before, a 32 gigabyte SD card should be plenty big enough. Alright, so you select your game, highlight your game here, Mario Party 10. Once you have your game highlighted, you're going to click on the download selected button. And that's going to bring up this dialog here. And from here you can download the title, which is the game. And you can also download an update if you want. I wouldn't do the update because once you have the game installed, Nintendo will actually, if there's any updates for the game, Nintendo will actually download and install those for you. So you don't have to do it, and I wouldn't do it because you have to. The way this particular method works, you can only download and install one game at a time, and that includes updates. So if I was to download both the game and the update, what it would end up doing is making two folders, one for the game, one for the update. I would have to first install the game from the SD card onto the USB drive, then delete that game off of the SD card, put the update onto the SD card, and then install the update from the SD card onto the USB drive. So, excuse me, you may as well just let Nintendo download and install the updates for you. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, so title should automatically be checked, and you simply click the download button. Now here you can install the game on or download the game onto your computer, but I find it much faster if you just download the game right onto your SD card. So we're going to do that. You just want to select your SD card, no folder or anything. Click OK, and it will begin downloading the game onto your SD card. Now if you downloaded the game onto your computer somewhere, so you would end up wasting time because you'd have to download it onto your computer, which takes, this says time remaining roughly 20 minutes. Then once you have the game downloaded, you have to copy that over to your SD card. which is going to take another 20 minutes. So you may as well just get it all done in one shot and download it right onto the SD card. Now when it's finished downloading, it's going to create a folder in the main directory of your SD card called Mario Party 10 USA. So what we're going to need to do is rename that folder to install once this finishes downloading. So this is going to take a little while, and I think I will take a break and I will be back and we'll move on to the next part once this finishes. Alright, so we are back and this is just about ready to finish up here. A couple more seconds. Okay, so once it's done, you get a little pop-up dialog here that says download completed successfully. So you click OK. We can now close out of this. We can also close out of this. And now let's go back over to our SD card. Let me refresh mine here. Alright, so now you should have a new folder named whatever the game was that you downloaded. So what we want to do now is rename that folder. And we're going to rename that to install. It's very important that you do that, otherwise nothing will work. So rename that folder, install, and now we're done here. We can close out our SD card. We can also, once you close out, excuse me, once you close out your SD card here, you want to take that out of your computer, and you're going to put that into your Wii U. I'm also, when I come back, I'm going to briefly go over how to install your USB drive onto your Wii. It's real quick, so when I come back we will go over that, and then we will proceed to install the game from the SD card onto the USB. So may as well pop that SD card into your Wii U right now, and I will be back in one moment. Alright, so I plugged in a USB drive. You should get this pop-up or something similar. I have two USB drives hooked up right now, so it's telling me I have 2 or more USB storage devices connected, and you can format, manage data, blah 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 blah. So click on manage data now. And on your Wii U pad, you should see a button that says Format USB Storage Device. And then it'll say you're going to go through the steps. This will format the USB storage device so it can be used with this console. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to format the USB drive that I just plugged in here. But so you just go through the steps. It's that simple. Once it's done formatting, it doesn't take very long. That drive will be ready to be used with your Wii U, and you'll be able to install all the games onto that USB drive. And we're going to go over that next. Alright, so once you have your SD card placed in your Wii U, you're going to go to your internet browser. already have this saved as a favorite, but you're going to want to navigate to the URL loadine.ovh. So LOADIINE.OVH. And once you get there, you're going to want to click on the little submit button. It should detect that your firmware and everything, and just click submit. And this is going to load up your Homebrew channel. And from here, we're just going to want to click on the WUP Installer. Click on load. And you should be brought to this page. And since we're talking about installing games onto a USB hard drive, that's what we're going to do here by selecting the X button. You're probably not going to want to install them onto the system memory because something should go wrong. It could corrupt your system memory and cause your Wii U to brick, and nobody wants that. So let's go ahead and click X. And once you click X, it should bring you here and begin installation. And this is going to take a little while depending on how big the game is, so I'm going to let it do its thing here, and I will be back when it is finished. Alright, we're back. This is just about finished here. About another few seconds here, we should be finished. Alright, so once it's done, it's going to do a little something here. It's going to bring you back here, and it's going to tell you that, hopefully, it's going to tell you that everything finished successfully. So if all went well, you're just going to hit the home button on your Wii U pad. That's going to bring you back to the Homebrew channel, and you're going to click home again. And you're going to exit out of this. And finally, you will be brought back to the Wii U menu, where you will find the game that you installed. So I installed Mario Party 10. So I'm going to just take this and drag it over to my Wii U games folder and drop it in there. And now every time I want to play this game, all I have to do is click on it. It starts up right away, everything's cool. If there's updates for the game, Nintendo will automatically give you the updates for them. So this is super duper easy mod for your Wii U, man. I remember back in the day when the original Wii came out and everybody was modding those. It was a lot more difficult than this. This is like the easiest thing ever. I love it. So that's it. I hope this video was useful and helpful. Thanks for watching.